So welcome to your 5 minutes of self-care. Today I'm going to speak to you about a topic that we see everywhere in social media these days. And I have never spoken about this specific topic. It is twin flame. It has been used, this term, for the past, let's say, 7 years, quite a lot. And I think it popped up more and more in social media about 7 years ago. And that's exactly also when my journey started. My journey did not start then. It was more that I became aware of it. And I explored more and researched what does that mean. In this podcast, I speak about self-care and addressing self-care in all the layers of our existence as a multidimensional being. This means the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, the wisdom body. And the twin flame journey speaks about all these layers and why. It is very interesting now. So for those of you who have heard about the twin flame journey, there's supposed to be a divine counterpart that exists. And from lifetimes to lifetimes, the union between two souls, this twin flame journey, is of greater importance. Maybe you have felt that when in doing your life, that there must be someone, your divine counterpart, that exists because you could feel it inside, deep down inside, you could feel it. And I share with you my experience in the last 7 years. I've been married 2 times and had relationships. And I can tell for certain that in each of these relationships, I knew that there was someone else out there. There was my supposed to be divine counterpart. And it was a sense of longing, but we need to be careful with longing because I'm not talking about desire. It was a certainty that a specific twin that suits my part, where we come to union between yin and yang, was existing. And then obviously social media and the whole media production, if you can see it in Hollywood movies, if this is the Cinderella story or any kind of story, The Notebook has really pushed this whole concept. Okay, I'm going to demystify this here now. Not that I don't believe in it. No, I am definitely on a twin flame journey. But this journey is more about finding union within. The divine masculine and feminine energies coming to union. And it's not necessarily the union outside of ourselves in the external circumstances that you come together with your divine counterpart and happily ever after. It is obviously great, and believe me, I have met many twin flames and I meet them all the time. And it does give me a great sense of pleasure and contentment to see 2 divine souls being in union and being on this twin flame journey together. I mean, I'm a great believer of that, don't get me wrong. What is important is the union within oneself. We do have both energies, yin and yang, masculine, feminine, darkness and light. And to find this harmony, this balance between these 2 opposing energies, but yet again, not so different from each other. Because we have masculine inside the feminine inside the masculine. So the yin and yang symbol, as you know it, it carries both in it. And we, during our process of this lifetime, we undergo certain different lessons and also healing from our traumatic layers. This trauma can be ancestral, it can be taken from lifetime to lifetime. So we also call it the karmic cycles. And you maybe come across someone that you feel like such an intense connection, and it's infatuation, it's passion. Yeah, be careful. That can be a karmic soulmate, a karmic lesson that you have to go through. And 7 years ago, for instance, this journey was triggered by this person, or not by this person, through this experience where I mistaken someone to be my twin flame because it was an intense, passionate connection. But these can be the karmic ones because it just shows you where you still need to heal. If it's codependency, attachments, or attachments to passion, desire, longing. Because a divine counterpart or a divine partnership is actually when we find peace and harmony. We do still go through the lessons being triggered, but it is not the drama. It's not the up, 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 high, and the low, 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 low. It is not the these intense, dramatic, like, oh, I'm going to leave, I want him to follow me. And it's a chase and runner scenario. Yes, we know that. But in a certain stage, when you have figured out for yourself that everything that happens in my external surroundings is because a mirror effect of what happens within me. So if I don't find peace within me or self-love, even if you meet your twin flame, it will be mirrored back. And the so-called union is not going to take place yet because there are certain steps we have to go through this healing. Any relationship you have, it doesn't matter if there's not a twin flame journey, just reflects what is happening within you. And scientifically this is proven with mirror neurons and anything that you feel inside, it's not so different from what the other person can feel. Energy travels. We are all one. So when it comes to this twin flame journey, and especially to these women out there, the chaser and runner scenario, we women can get really intense and very controlling because we have adopted a very, very strong young style of living. I mean, not every one of us, I'm just saying to you, when you have worked really hard in the man world, worked very hard, you see the choice of words here, that means also we have become very distorted, young, masculine energy and pushing, forcing, controlling the outcome, setting expectations and the bar high. But this is exactly what we have to release. We have to really release and let go this control. Because it's just an illusion that we have control. We don't have any control here. It's all divine timing, it's the flow, it's nature. You cannot go against it. And when you push the man, and this can be for any relationship. So if you love women, you're woman, man. If you have predominantly the feminine energy, then you chase after the masculine energy, he will run for the hills. I can tell you right now. Chasing is not going to work. And this is a typical runner and chaser scenario. And try it. Just sit back and see what you need to heal within yourself, what you're not clear yet with yourself. How can you love yourself more? And this is the key, actually. It's not the physical union. Of course, it's beautiful to find your counterpart, but it's more finding this peace within, that this union takes place within, that you can really heal those feminine and masculine energies, like the woman who is controlling constant time, or the man that feels like he needs to act all the time. No. Actually being able to find a balance between intuition, releasing, letting go, going with the flow, and divine action when you know you're going to take action in divine timing. And it's a very subtle, there are subtle signs. And that's why the self-care practices work really well, because meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, movement, it just helps you to fine-tune this intuition and be connected with divine guidance. And when you are in a twin flame journey, and funny enough, I just saw 1111, honor it. And when you do come to union, uplift and inspire humanity, because that's the only reason why we are in this journey. If you like more of these posts, I can tell you the whole story about different historical backgrounds. And I've been studying this for a long time, and I actually became an alchemy healer because of this journey. Because also my mentor, Amanda Ronson, was the first one who put me into a past life regression session where I realized I was on this journey. And you feel it inside, that there is a divine counterpart. And it is said from lifetime to lifetime, you come into union or you don't come to union. You make yourself a set of lessons to find each other and come back together and uplift and inspire and shine the light in the world. It's a beautiful story. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. But for those of you who are on this twin flame journey, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about here. And when you really take care of yourself, the number one rule is self-love, forgiveness, patience, and trusting the process. And when you have met your twin flame, it is about, I see you, I trust you, I respect you. And respecting and honoring everyone's journey, where they are at. Meeting them where they are at. Not forcing, not pushing. And letting go of fear. That's the most important thing. Because this twin flame journey triggers any kind of trauma that you have experienced in this lifetime or the previous lifetimes. It triggers any kind of fears. It triggers all of the lower vibrational emotions. And yes, it can be tough. It can give you a lot of patience, and it can teach you a lot of perseverance and resilience. But it is worth it if you really honor your journey and you trust the process and you don't necessarily seek union in the external world, but union within. Namaha, namaste.